Welcome to the Skip and Shannon Undisputed podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. You can catch us Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific on FS1. Here's what this podcast is all about. It's an unscripted, unfiltered, undisputed version of the day's show, and there is a lot to get into in today's podcast. Shannon says cold weather makes Derek Carr look like Brock Osweiler. Skip claims Dallas should have won their first game, and they will avenge that loss this Sunday night in New York. The guys preview the much-anticipated Seattle and Green Bay matchup. You won't believe it, Skip is taking his guy, Aaron Rodgers. Plus, Rob Parker comes by for some outrageous claims about Eli Manning and Tom Brady that you have to hear. How are you feeling this morning, Skip?
I'm not very well, thank you very much. You know, you got me last night, but you were so lucky.
For what?
I'm about to explain.
I wasn't nervous.
Yeah. I think you got real nervous in the end.
Really?
Yeah, especially when that ball was hanging up to Amari Cooper for what looked like the tying touchdown.
Did you see him bundled up like the Michelin Man?
I did.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's start with last night's game in the AFC West. Derek Carr has 6 fourth-quarter comebacks this season, but he couldn't do it last night. The Chiefs beat the Raiders 21-13. Both teams are 10-3, but Kansas City swept the season series and now are in first place in the AFC West. The Chiefs held Derek Carr to only 117 passing yards, his lowest total of the season. Skip, how much faith did you lose in the Raiders last night?
Big picture, none at all. Little picture, last night, I lost all faith in Derek Carr's ability to grip and throw a football with his little wounded pinky finger in 13-degree wind chill. And I lost all faith in the warm weather Raiders receivers' ability to catch balls in the cold, as you just alluded to. I could not recognize the Raider passing attack that has carried this team the whole year. You know, Derek Carr was just fine throwing in Oakland with that little dislocated pinky finger against Carolina and Buffalo, wouldn't you say? Did you see the same guy? Because I saw the same guy. So if I had known that last night Derek Carr would lose most of his velocity and most of his accuracy, there's no way I would have made the bet that I made with you yesterday on this game, because that I couldn't recognize him. As Joy just pointed out, 17 of 41 for 117 yards for a guy that many people were pushing for MVP at this point in the season. And for that matter, if you told me that Kelechi Osemele, their prize free agent and their best offensive lineman, maybe one of the best linemen in the league, would turn up sick before the game and have to go to the hospital, I would not have made that bet, because that was a huge missing piece in the middle of that Raiders line. But the point is, Derek Carr has a cannon. And last night, all he could do, have you ever seen anything like this, was lob floaters and change-ups. And when they did happen to find the hands of Raider receivers, they found frozen hands of stone. And I counted, this is just unofficial, I counted 9 drops last night. I counted 4 drops by Seth Roberts, who's been one of their most clutch receivers. One of them was in the end zone where it hit him right, it floated right into his hands, and he bobbled it for a second, and then the DB knocked it out. And I'm thinking, Seth Roberts, what has happened to you? But even though I thought at 21-3 it was over, Alex Smith, right on schedule, turned right back into Alex Smith. Interception, forced fumble, and the Raiders had multiple uncashed opportunities to win this football game. After the interceptions, 1st and 10 at the Kansas City 18, field goal, only 3 points. Then after the sack fumble, 1st and 10 at Kansas City 18, and it winds up a field goal attempt that Marquette King, the punter, couldn't catch. And it hit him right there. It wasn't that bad a snap. And it
was on his back shoulder.
Oh, please, it hit him right there. You got to catch that ball and get it down, especially when you celebrate as much as you do for being a punter. And the punter couldn't celebrate that one because he fumbled it. But then came the unmade play of the game. 9 minutes and 25 seconds left. Derek Carr finally beat the rush, stepped up, scrambled forward, stopped just before the line of scrimmage, and sees his best receiver, his fastest receiver, Amari Cooper, is behind the DB. And he floats it up, and this one's going to work, because this one's going to hit Amari right in the hands, and he's going to be gone, and it's either going to be 21-all if they go for 2, which they do often and make it, or it's going to be 21-20 with 9 minutes left in the game. And what happens? I don't know. I think he lost it in the lights. There was some speculation on the internet that it hit a TV cable. I don't know. Have you ever seen a pass hit a TV cable? Because in all my career, I've never heard of that, nor have I ever seen that before. He lost the ball in the lights. The ball lands right beside him, and he looks around like, where did that come from? Oh, I don't know. It came from Derek Carr's hand, and it was thrown right into your hands where you could have put it in your back pocket and still be running with it. That changes everything. That shuts down that crowd. All of a sudden, it's either going to be a tie game or a one-point game, and you got Sebastian Janikowski on your side, and I say the Raiders win that game if Amari can find the ball in the lights. Bottom line, I still say the Raiders are better than the Chiefs. The Chiefs had 102 yards in the second half and 4 first downs. Are you kidding me, against that Raider defense? But in the end, the Raiders couldn't throw it or catch it in the cold, and they suffered a crushing loss.
So let me get this straight. You've lost no faith in the Raiders.
Heck no.
Although you complained about Derek Carr's pinky finger on his throwing hand.
And 13-degree wind chill.
You complained about the receivers being bundled up like the Michelin men, yet you lost no faith.
Nope.
Now, I mind you, the teams that are in playoff contention, they happen to be, one, New England Patriots. What is the weather like in January? Okay, what about the Kansas City Chiefs? They just left there last night. So what's the weather like in January?
Do they have to play there again?
Whoa, hold on. I didn't interrupt you. I let Skip go on.
No, I'm asking questions.
Okay.
Just
No.
questions.
You don't. No.
Yeah.
No.
It's called redirect.
No redirect. What about Pittsburgh? What's the weather like in Pittsburgh?
I don't know. I can't talk. I'm muzzled over here. I can't talk. I can't answer. I can't answer that question.
How about this here?
Your Honor, I can't
ask
answer.
you a question, I'm going to ask you, is it cold? You nod. Is it cold in Pittsburgh in January? Is it cold in Denver and Baltimore in January? But you lost no. Skip, I felt really good. You know what I felt really good? When I saw the temperature, the game time temperature at 8:30 in the afternoon in Kansas City, it was going to be 25 degrees, but it was going to feel like it was 12. You see, you love those games. You know it's going to be a good game if a warm weather team is coming in your backyard. When the sun rises with an overcoat on, you know they got no chance of beating you down there, Joy. You know that. There's Derek Carr. Has only played twice in his NFL career with temperature under 40. Both times in Kansas City. And both times, what happened, Joy Taylor?
They lost.
Wait, you can't talk?
Oh,
you can't talk?
You can't talk.
You're not supposed to talk?
Joy can talk. You can't talk.
You can nod, but you can't answer.
Okay.
No. But you've lost no faith. Here's a guy that had, and you know, his pinky finger is bothering him. It was dislocated. They put it back in. He was wearing the glove. But Skip, all the places that they can possibly have to go, because they're not winning that division. They're going on the road.
There's 3 games to go. Who says it's over?
I said it's over.
Oh, okay.
I told you.
So you declared it over. Okay.
I said whoever won this game would win this division and would be in contention for the first or second seed in the AFC. So they're done.
Still have a long way to go.
Now, I love how you failed to mention Derek Johnson's injury. He tore his Achilles in 2014, and it looks like he tore the other one this time around also. It's funny how he leaves, and all of a sudden, the Raiders just go right down the field running the football. Prior to that, what had they done running the football, Skip?
They've done pretty well.
Really?
Do I get to answer? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you get
I'm
to,
sorry
go
I
ahead, go
spoke.
ahead. Go ahead.
I didn't
Go
mean
ahead.
to.
Answer.
They had done pretty well.
But I love in the cold weather.
Yeah.
What I'm starting to see when the weather drops below 40, 30, getting to 20s, maybe even in the teens, Derek Carr looks a lot like Brock Osweiler, because those were Brock Osweiler numbers. 17 of 41 for 117. Now.
Those were Carson Wentz numbers.
Whoa. There's no pot shots. We're not taking any shots at anybody up here, Skip. Now, can I talk about the Kansas City Chiefs? Can I talk about this?
The floor is yours.
Oh,
yeah.
I love what Alex Smith was doing in the first half. They did a great.
In the first half.
Whoa, Skip.
Who was that guy in the second half?
If you look at Travis Kelce, and I said this when I first saw him, he reminds you a lot of Gronk, not because he's white and he's big. Okay, maybe a little bit because of that also. But he's a little looser in the hips. He's a little bit more fluid than
he could be better than Shannon Sharpe in the long run. Right?
No, not right.
Because he can run.
Oh, I can run.
Don't make him pull up that video again.
First of all, and if you look at what they were doing offensively, he's doing a great job of getting the ball, spreading the ball around to Kelce. Jeremy Maclin came back, even though that interception that Alex Smith threw, that was on Jeremy Maclin, because that's man coverage. You cannot pull up on man coverage. Alex Smith is anticipating he's going to cross the guy's face. He pulls up and he hits the guy right in the chest. So that's not on Alex Smith. but I like defensively. When you turn the football over, where you turn it over at in negative territory 3 times, and you hold the team to 2 field goals, you have to feel good with where you are. And the mere fact that Phillips Gaines was not in the lineup, Nelson and Mitchell came in and did a very good job opposite of Peters. I like what I'm seeing for Kansas City. They still have the Broncos have to come into their place. Tennessee have to come to them, and they go to San Diego. Skip, they're not losing that stranglehold on that division.
So you're already picking them to beat your Broncos?
Don't worry about what I'm picking.
This is amazing to me. You know, you bleed Bronco orange, and you are picking the rival Chiefs to win it all now. You got them going to the Super Bowl.
All I'm saying is that they're going to win this division. Okay?
So
what?
Then what? You said 2 days ago, you said they're the best team in the AFC, right? Well, you did say that.
But we're not discussing that right now.
Oh.
The question is the games. All I'm trying to do is refute your argument, talking about you lost no confidence. But here you are. If I've known this guy wasn't going to be able to play,
well, if I'd known
that, well, you've lost confidence.
He couldn't grip the football in the cold. I had no idea.
So when will he be able to grip the football?
Back in Oakland, he'll be just fine.
But they're not going to have a home game.
How about San Diego? He'll be just fine in San Diego.
But,
right?
guess what's going to happen, Skip? They're not going to have a home game. They're not going to be – San Diego's not going to be in the playoffs.
You don't know this yet. You are leaping to conclusions with 3 games to go.
Better case to do, San Diego's not in the playoffs.
San Diego?
Yes. You're talking about, he's going to be able to grip the ball in San Diego. They're not going to be in the playoffs.
You mean San Diego in the playoffs or Oakland in the playoffs?
I said Oakland. Oakland's not going to win the division.
Oh.
They're going to have to go on the road. They're going to have to go play in New England, Kansas City, Pittsburgh, Baltimore. Those are cold weather places.
You're leaping to the conclusion they're not going to win the division, but they're...
Leaping?
Yeah.
I ain't leaping. I'm jumping.
Well, they are tied right now with Kansas City, right?
A leap is like little baby step. Jump's like long jump, triple jump. Well, first of all, you wearing flowers in December. Why are you wearing flowers in December?
You know what? I like the flowers in December.
I don't care.
It brightens up this set as opposed to that drab thing you got on.
Whoa!
You were asking for it. I had to defend her honor.
You did.
You did.
You deserve
that.
You deserve that. You look nice, but you deserve that.
Oh, how do I deserve that?
Why are you picking up my flower dress?
Because I'm trying to explain something to you or talk about what's the difference between a leap and a jump. So they're the same
very
thing.
similar.
I thought that was a good question, actually. What is the difference?
First of all, Johnny Cash, I want you to please
I got on blue. Does Johnny Cash wear blue?
Black, the black shirt.
Well, so? Johnny
What do you mean,
Cash doesn't
so?
wear blue suits with a black
So
shirt.
you are very adamantly, very far, long jumping that the Chiefs are going to win
Skip
this
should be
division.
very, very worried. And he laid out all the reasons why he would not have picked the Raiders last night had he known. Now, knowing this, last I checked, I don't think Derek Carr's pinky finger is all of a sudden going to be undislocated. It's still going to be a problem. But you feel, if Osimile had done this, I wouldn't have picked him. If Derek Carr would have done
How
this,
good is Osimile? How good is he? How good is he? I don't know. You can answer. I'm giving you the right to answer that question.
Was he in the game last night?
No, he was not.
Okay.
He was
What
sick
about
and
those
went to the
receivers?
hospital.
What about those receivers?
How good is Osimile? You didn't answer the question. Is he not the best guard in pro football? He might be better than the best guard in Dallas, Zach Martin. He might be better.
I think I like Martin.
I don't know. It's close. It's a close call.
Hold up. Who does Martin play for? Okay, I like Osimile.
Yeah, thank you. That's what I thought. Yeah.
But Skip, you should be very concerned because they're not. Look, listen. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, debating that they don't have home field advantage. Every team that they could possibly face in the playoffs, what is the temperature like in January? Is it Miami? Is it 75 and sunny? Or is it more apt to be 30 or below?
Miami could rally and make the playoffs. Right? That's a great thought. I didn't think of it that way.
I like it.
Yeah.
See, all you do is give Joy false hope. Now, Joy's going to leave here today skipping and hopping. Doing the same thing, skipping and hopping. She go, Skip today, going to make the playoffs. Dolphins are not going anywhere.
She's going to be a leaping and a jumping, right?
Yeah. Skip, you should be very concerned because that defense, look at the first half.
104 Kansas City yards in the second half. I'm scared to death.
Hold on. Did they play the first half? Did they have 21 points in the first half? Yes or no?
Yep, because of Tyreek Hill. He's a difference maker.
So is Tyreek Hill all of a sudden going to get traded?
He's good. He was great at Oklahoma State. I could have told you. I watched him a lot at Oklahoma State. He bedeviled my Sooners.
I don't want you to tell me anything else about him because he's on Kansas City. You picked the Raiders. He's not leaving Kansas City.
Okay.
They still have no answer for him.
So the Denver Bronco is picking Kansas City to win it all, right? Is that what we have here?
I picked them to win the division. If and when that time comes.
Are they the best team in the AFC right now?
If and when that time comes.
I'm not going to answer.
If and when that time
you
comes.
know you're back
that
into
we
that
need to pick a Super Bowl contender.
The time has come.
No, it hasn't.
I want to hear it.
No.
The time has come.
Hold up. I'm looking at the rundown.
Yeah.
It didn't say anything about we picking the Super Bowl from the AFC.
Yeah. Who's the best team right now in the AFC?
The best team in the AFC West is Kansas City.
In the AFC, period. You won't do it?
Nope.
Come on. Have the courage of your conviction.
I
Mr.
got
Bronco.
Kansas City winning the AFC West.
Yeah.
Who do you have?
I still got Oakland because there are 3 games to go. I picked it before the year. I'm sticking with it. I don't waffle.
You just got swept. The team that's leading the division just swept you.
You know what? Stuff happens in the NFL. Upsets happen. Denver could happen to Kansas City. Tennessee could happen. It was just 3 games ago that at Kansas City, guess who beat them? Jameis Winston beat him 17-15. Alex Smith managed 15 points at home against Tampa Bay. Wow. I'm impressed. I'm blown away. I give up.
The third or fourth highest scoring team in the NFL averaged 13, just scored 13.
I told you I couldn't even recognize their passing attack.
Oh, you recognized it? You recognized
I did not.
it? Oh, so you didn't
How
know?
many drops did you have? I had 9 last night. Those are balls that should have been caught.
This is what I know.
What if Amari Cooper had found the ball in the lights? Are we having a different conversation? I think
what if he wasn't dressed like the Michelin Man?
Well, that's not my fault.
Oh, okay. Then how is that my fault that he dropped the ball?
He didn't drop the ball. He never saw the ball.
Oh, so he had no drops.
It almost hit him in the butt.
What about the one that you said that wasn't a fumble? He didn't drop that?
That wasn't a fumble.
Yeah, in the first quarter. When he caught the ball, he rolled on the guy and it came out.
How do you know I said it wasn't a fumble?
I just asked you a question.
How do you know?
Did he drop the ball?
George,
yes or no?
He's creeping on my Twitter.
Okay,
again.
hold up. You just said Gabriel. You just said
creeping.
Gabriel.
It wasn't a fumble, and I said it before it was called not a fumble. Am I right?
Did Crabtree drop any passes?
Crabtree dropped 2 passes.
Okay, what about the?
And he also
looked
Roberts? Like he might have fractured
his.
this.
What about
thing.
Roberts? Did he drop any?
He dropped 4.
How's that my fault?
Well, I didn't say it was your fault.
Yeah, you
but
did.
they don't usually drop balls.
Oh,
That's one thing they don't do.
So are you telling me the whole year the Raiders receivers haven't dropped any balls? Last night was the first time they
They've
dropped.
been pretty clean this year on drops. Pretty clean. Amari's had some issues, but Amari was pretty clean. He didn't have that many targets last night, actually. But he just lost the ball in the lights. And that's all, or we'd be having a different conversation, which is why you were so lucky last night.
You said
so lucky. Your Chiefs that you love, the best team in the AFC, that you have proclaimed them, they scored 0 in the second half. 0 at home in the second half. How do you defend that, counselor?
If I score 21 in the first half and somehow the team is unable to score 22 total, what happens? Would I win that game?
Yeah.
Okay. You said Amari Cooper. He had 10 targets.
Yeah.
He caught 5 of them for 29 yards.
Yeah,
is that good?
That was Derek Carr. He's throwing them all over.
Whoa.
Throwing them out of bounds.
So now you're throwing
I couldn't recognize
Now you're throwing the quarterback that you picked in his team to win.
I told you he couldn't grip the football.
So when will he?
Have you ever seen him throw like that?
When will he be able to?
Have you ever seen so many lobs from a quarterback? So many floaters?
Can I ask you
what was he doing? What was that all about?
Can I talk?
Remember the wheel route to Richard?
Can I talk?
Richard's in the end zone open, and he just throws it, and he missed him by 8 yards.
You gonna let me talk?
That's Derek Carr, MVP.
I just want to talk.
Dak's
I just want to talk.
MVP.
I just want to talk for 1 second. You gonna let me talk?
No, because it was my turn to talk.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just
now
let
it's
me-
your turn.
Oh, now it's my turn?
Yeah.
So when will Derek Carr be able to grip the ball in cold weather?
I don't know. Maybe he'll heal by next cold weather game.
Maybe.
When is the next one? Maybe Denver, right?
They play Denver. They
Yeah.
play, I know they go to, I think they got San Diego.
Yeah.
So
3 games to go. You never know.
what about the playoffs?
You sure about Tennessee coming to Kansas City? You sure they're going to beat Tennessee? Boy, they're rolling now. They can run that football.
It sounds
No.
Are you trying to convince me or you?
I'm not convinced. I'm just saying there are 3 games left, and I've been doing this for too long, and I've learned a long time ago to have the courage of my convictions as opposed to yours.
I've only been doing this for 4 months, but I know what I see, and I see that Kansas City is the best team in the AFC West.
Okay, how about the AFC?
We'll discuss that. There'll be a time that comes that we must pick who we think will be the representative.
What happened to Kansas City in the first playoff game they played last year?
They
I think
beat
it was
Houston.
in Foxborough.
They beat
no,
Houston.
the second playoff game.
Well, you said the first.
Well, I meant the one they lost, obviously.
I don't know what you mean. I can't read your mind.
Yep.
Well, actually, I can. I know exactly what you meant, but I just wanted to put your feet to the fire.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying, Joe?
The
But
rest
Joe,
of the
I'm done with you.
Raiders schedule, don't close it yet. is at the Chargers, then at home against the Colts, and then at the Broncos.
At the Broncos.
I like
you have
the Colts.
lost all
I
four.
like the Colts.
But you know what?
I like the Colts.
Do you?
Yep. For a case of Propel right now.
Right now?
Right now.
Okay, done.
Done.
I got it.
Saw
Thank
him
you.
coming.
Just gave me one
I
back.
saw him coming, Joey. He didn't even know it.
Done.
I had it wrote down right on the back. Case of Propel, Colts versus Raiders.
Okay, got it. Done. Thank you
Yep.
very much. I appreciate
All right,
that.
we'll find
I
out.
appreciate you returning the favor. And by the way, the only reason I bet on this game last night, in which I was a prohibitive underdog, was
You were not a prohibitive underdog.
I was, so that I could get you to bet on the only game I really care about, which is Sunday night. And we're about to talk about that game. That's the only reason, because you wouldn't bet me on Sunday night unless I bet you on this one. So I gave you that one so I could get you on Sunday night.
It's like you know what happened, Skip? It was like when the fox threw the rabbit in the briar patch. That's where he wanted to be. I wanted you to think that I was afraid to bet on the Giants. That's what I did.
So
That's
that
why
he would take this one?
I walked it right into my. I keep all these. See,
Until
you think
Monday
you can
morning. No mercy. The 11-1 Cowboys are on the road Sunday nights against their NFC East rivals, the 8-4 Giants. The Giants are 3 games behind the Cowboys, but they are the only team to beat Dallas this season. After losing in Week 1, the Cowboys started their franchise record 11-game winning streak. Eli Manning has joined the debate.
Hi, Eli. How are you?
A set of undisputed.
Need you Sunday night.
Eli's not your friend.
Yeah, he is. Look at it's got the vintage Eli scowl, that bitter Eli face after he threw another inexplicable pick, and he's thinking,
I think he kind of looked like that when he threw that touchdown against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl too. He's like, I got on
how did I
Skip
do
Bayless
that?
good.
I closed my eyes and I threw it up. I knew not where, and it stuck in David Tyree's face mask. Wow, way to go, Eli.
What about
Love
the one
you,
on
man.
the sideline?
That was a good throw. That's the one good throw he's made in his whole life.
You need to stop, Skip Bayless.
Skip.
Eli, walk away.
Who wins on Sunday?
Shannon Sharpe. I'm going to tell you the biggest reason that my Dallas Cowboys are going to win this game at the New York Giants.
Because you're a homer.
No, I am a homer. I agree with that.
That's the biggest
But
reason.
I grew up a homer, starting at age 10. Went to my first game. I'm sorry, I can't help it. Got in my blood. The Dallas Cowboys should have won the first game. That's why they are going to win this game. And let me explain why. Remember, Dak Prescott, 4th-round rookie, gets thrown into the fire against a division rival on opening day. Degree of difficulty, is that about as high as it gets?
It was very tough.
Thank you very much.
Skip.
And I want to point out for the record, he had only minimal help that day from one Ezekiel Elliott, who carried 20 times for only 51 yards. That's 2.5 a rush with a long of 8 yards. So don't tell me that Zeke won that game, because Dak should have won that game and played well enough to. Meanwhile, you made one correct prediction about that game. You told me on our opening launch week here on Undisputed, you said Janoris Jenkins, remember this, would put handcuffs on Dez Bryant. Remember that? You said it to me about 3 times. You were correct, sir. Dez Bryant, 1 catch for 8 yards in that game. So what happened? Against the arch division rival, the game boils down to Dak Prescott having to throw it to an ancient receiver, a tight end that you say that even now you could outrun. Old Jay Slow, right? Jason Witten, isn't that right?
I did not call him that.
Yeah,
Skip.
you did. Jay Slow. That's what you nicknamed him, right? Jay Slow? And also thrown to a guy that you completely dismissed and disrespected that opening week of Undisputed that I nicknamed for you Measly Beasley. Yep. Those are his two main targets that day. And what happened? Dak Prescott converted 10 of 17 third downs in that game. He in his office, controlled the clock 37 minutes to 23. That's astonishing to me. 37 minutes the Cowboys had the ball in that game to only 23 without a single turnover. Meanwhile, Eli came out to start the second half, and right on schedule, big guy, appreciate it very much. Eli threw it to a guy you have nicknamed Used Car. Brandon Carr picked off Eli. Could we see that, please? I want to see it. Here it is. Eli dropped back. He throws it right to Brandon Carr. It's an interception. What happened, Eli? What are you doing? I think he threw it right to Brandon Carr. I love this play. Oh, can I see it again? I want to see it again. And maybe again.
From a different angle, he still threw an interception.
Could we see it? Wait. I love this play. You know what? I love this play even more than your touchdown play that you had against at Oakland, right? I could watch this all day long. Wait a minute. Brandon Carr just intercepted Eli again. Okay, that's enough of that. But we might be seeing that a little bit more.
I doubt it.
Thank you very much for that.
I doubt it.
I appreciate it very much. But as we all know, opening drive, Measly Beasley gets hit with a pass right in his hands at the 2-yard line, and he can't snag it. I don't know what happened.
Old coleslaw. Right
coleslaw. Yeah, thank you very much. Then next drive, my man Des Bryant, throw up the X. No, he failed to come down with a touchdown pass that hit him right in the hands in the end zone. That's 8 points that the Cowboys gave away in 2 drives that would have won a 20-19 game. Eli survived 20-19, but it is big psychological advantage, Dallas Cowboys.
How? And they lost.
They tromped them. They did everything but win the game. They dominated all the stats. They know it. That's why you heard Dak stand in his locker and say, I know this team. He does know that he can pick this team apart. Now let's talk quickly about this team. I love what our Michael Lombardi said right here the other day. He called the New York Giants the equivalent of a Ponzi scheme, meaning it's some smoke and it's some mirrors and a whole lot of nothing. And I might not go quite that far, but I think there's much truth to that, because if you look at their 6-game winning streak, it came against teams that against the rest of the league are now 23, 42, and 1. So they beat mostly nobody. And if I look at the New York Giants, they're 23rd in scoring. 23rd? The Cowboys are 5th in scoring. New York, the all-important turnover ratio, they're -5. Dallas is at least +2 because they don't take the ball away. But this whole notion suggested last week and the previous week by you that Eli owns the Cowboys. I'm going to point out again, Eli, thank you very much, my man, has lost 6 of his last 9 against Dallas, including 5 in a row. That's the great Eli Elite Manning. And here's last 3 passing totals against the Cowboys. Last 3 games, he threw for 193, 170, and 207, barely topped 200 yards on opening day. Now, he did beat the Cowboys, as you point out, in 1 playoff game, which makes him 13-12 against Dallas. But I couldn't even watch that Cowboy team. I had no use for that Cowboy team because it was Terrell Owens and it was Tony and Jessica and Cancun. That's what that team was. Remember that?
Yeah, have a good time with jet ski.
Yeah, and I'm as done with that team.
Let people celebrate, Skip.
Yeah, well, they celebrated prematurely, and then they lost at Texas Stadium to Eli Manning as he went on to a Super Bowl. But here's the point. Odell Beckham, for all the pizzazz and all the celebrations and all the hoopla and Big Apple this and that, Odell Beckham, last 3 games against Dallas, has averaged 51 yards receiving. So, conclusion, do I respect that the New York Giants are 8th in scoring defense? I do. My Cowboys are 5th in scoring defense. Do I respect that New York is 5th against the run? 5th in the NFL, that's pretty good. My Cowboys are 2nd in the NFL against the run. Do I respect the fact, and maybe not fear, but am I concerned about the fact that this is at MetLife Stadium? Sure I am. My Cowboys are 6-0 on the road, and they have had 10 days to get ready for this road game. And I think that's big advantage Dallas. So, sum it up. What's the Giants' best win of the year? Seriously, if you look down the whole thing, what was their best win? It was opening day, 20-19. That's it. Period.
Why wouldn't it be their best win?
Well, I'm just saying, that's all you got. But that's all you got. What did my team do? It won at Washington. It won at Green Bay. It won at Pittsburgh. It won at Minnesota. I can give you 5, 6 better wins than that. What should have been the opening day, right? So the Giants beat Baltimore at home, and that was in the midst of a 4-game losing streak by Baltimore, which I hate to say, they finally bounced back and destroyed your Dolphins, but they were really reeling in that stretch because the following week after that, they beat Baltimore. Baltimore then lost to the Jets. So that completely discounts that one big win by the New York Football Giants. It's just simple. My Cowboys are better than the Giants. And just because it's a rivalry, it'll stay pretty close. But I got Cowboys 27, Giants 23. Thank you very much. What do you put in that stuff over there?
Why are you worried about what I'm drinking?
Well,
Why are you worried about what I'm drinking?
I wonder.
I love how you give all these stats. Oh, Eli closes his eyes. He looked at
that wasn't a stat. That was my view.
Oh, they can't do this. Odell Beckham, he's supposed to be a star. He does nothing against my team. You keep telling me all this while the Cowboys, they had the ball for 52 minutes out of 60. Ezekiel Elliott, he didn't play well.
Refute me. Give me something. You got nothing. You're out of ammo.
This is what I know. All the stats.
This is all you got is 10. That's all you got.
And what did he do to your team?
Huh?
What did he do to your team?
When?
Opening day.
Opening day? He threw for barely 200 yards.
Wow. How many touchdowns?
I'm scared.
How many touchdowns did he have?
I can't remember.
You know how many he had. Say it, Skip. I want to hear
you.
you say it right now. Eli Manning had 3 touchdowns.
1 interception to used car. That's all I can remember about that game.
And in the red zone, what did he do?
He was much better than the Cowboys were, just because of 2 big drops.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And you talking about Dez Bryant throwing up the X? He threw up the had handcuffs on Janoris Jenkins, saying you're under arrest. I'll sentence you to 1 catch for 8 yards.
Is that what
now
you're predicting?
Go to the sideline.
Are you predicting 1 catch for 8 yards on Sunday
Don't worry about
night?
how I'm predicting. Can I get them? Look, the Giants offense know they can have success because they've had success against this team. I would recommend they take a page out of the Washington team. Get into the 3 wide receiver set with 1 tight end. Vernon Davis had a big day. Now, obviously, the Giants do not have a tight end that's a Vernon Davis or a Jordan Reed. Okay, I get that. But the 3 wide receivers with Odell, with Shepard, and Cruz. Now, Cruz didn't have a target last week. He didn't have a catch last week.
Yep.
He voiced his displeasure. Now, I can assure you there will not be a reoccurrence of that this week. You can have your way with this team's defense because I believe the Cowboys, the weakest unit of their team is their defense. I'm going to need their defense, minus JPP, or their special teams, to get Eli an extra possession because he needs an extra crack at that defense because, they're playing great. The defensive coordinator have, what's his name? Rob Marinella. Oh, he has that defense playing well, Joy. Oh, they're not that ultra-talented, but they play hard.
They play with spirit, Joy. They bend and bend, but they do not break in the red zone.
Eli broke them.
Yeah, that was when they didn't know who they were yet.
I thought they were the Cowboys.
They had a rookie starter at quarterback. Are you kidding me?
Oh, so what, is he a 4th-year guy now?
He feels like a 4th-year guy.
Oh,
now
he feels like that. See, I love how when he lost, he was a rookie. Opening day.
I didn't say that. I said he played well enough to win.
Can I finish? I'm talking to Joy right now. Joy, I love how.
That's a first.
I love how he says, opening day, it was a high degree of difficulty. He was a rookie quarterback.
His first game, 4th round, Mississippi State.
You admitted it. You
Hold on.
just said.
So is he still a rookie? Was he still drafted in the 4th round? So when did he move up in the draft after 12 games?
Every analyst we've had on here keeps saying he's no longer a rookie. You can't say he's a rookie anymore. He's played too much football at too high a level. He has new credentials. He's now vested.
So you give the Giants absolutely no chance of winning this game?
I think
on a scale of 1 to 10.
I'd give him a 2.
You ought to be embarrassed of yourself.
Why? They're the Giants. I just gave you all the reasons.
Did you hear that? Eli, did you hear what that man just said?
Scowling. Yeah.
Skip. The Cowboys
thinking about it.
Skip. The Cowboys do have the 29th ranked pass defense. You make it seem like they're the Seahawks back there. They're not. They can be had. I would like to think that the Giants will get at least, you know what? I'm going to say the Giants get 2 turnovers. I believe they get 2 turnovers. He'll be better than Sam Bradford was 2 Thursdays ago.
What are the turnovers going to be? Interceptions?
I don't care.
You don't care?
I don't care. All I want Eli to have is an extra crack or 2 at that porous defense because I believe that's the weak unit of that football team.
Eli had 23 minutes of crack against that defense.
And he got 3 touchdowns in 23 minutes.
23 minutes.
So
how many times did Dallas turn it over with the rookie quarterback in the opener? 0 times.
And he still beat him. So even with no turnovers, he beat him. So imagine what's going to happen to him when he gets his 2 turnovers. So one from the special teams and one from the defense. Okay. What's going to happen?
So Dak Prescott, who has 19 touchdown passes to only 2 interceptions, is going to throw 2 interceptions? I'm just trying to hold your feet to the fire. I want to hear you say it for the record.
I could have sworn I said they will get 1 special teams turnover, and the defense of the Giants will get another turnover. That is 2 turnovers.
Okay.
I believe.
What's the other one? Interception or fumble?
What difference does it make?
I would tell you. If I predicted it, I would tell you. I'd say 2 interceptions, but you won't do it.
How about 2 turnovers? 1 from the special teams and 1 from the defense.
Okay. Who does it? Is it the quarterback?
Why does it matter? You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking coleslaw. I'm thinking coleslaw going to put the ball on the turf.
All right,
How about
is that your prediction?
That's my prediction.
Okay,
coleslaw.
You got it. All right.
But as long as they have the 2 turnovers, Eli doesn't need a whole lot. All I need is him to have is an extra crack or 2 at that defense. With that being said, considering they got no turnovers in the first game, only possessed the ball for under 24 minutes, and they still won, and he still threw for 3 touchdowns. So just imagine if he has the ball for 27, 28 minutes, what he's going to do. At some point in time, Dak's going to wake up, Skip Bayless been heaping praise on him. He should be the MVP. I already called Blair Buswell and told him to start the bust already.
That was Carson Wentz.
No, stop it, Skip.
He's in there. You can only put one rookie in per year.
No.
He took the exception.
And so, with that being said, Dak's going to wake up one morning and say, you know what? I'm a rookie. I'm not supposed to be playing like this. And it just might be Sunday morning.
Well, you've predicted about 8 straight weeks it was going to be that Sunday and that Sunday and that Sunday and that Sunday.
The Giants will win this ball game 24-23.
Okay, how many interceptions will he throw?
None.
None?
None.
Wow.
None.
Boy, that's going way out on the limb right there.
He might even throw 3 or 4, but they're not going to lose the game.
3 or 4?
They're not losing.
So it's from none to 3 or 4.
Eli's going to throw 4 interceptions.
No, he's not. He's not going to throw any interceptions. And I'm going to have come Monday. I guarantee you, I'm going to have me a 3-liter diet dude sitting on his desk.
Yeah.
Oh, you won't have to steal it from Skip's dressing room.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, hold on.
You've already taken enough from my dressing room. I don't even need to pay you now.
What did I get? What did I get from last night's win?
You got a case.
A case?
And you owed me.
No, I just gave it to you for your birthday.
Oh, that's. I don't know what happened to that. You took it back.
Because you were talking crazy about 3 Big Ten teams should be in the playoffs.
All right. Well, I don't have it.
So I don't want another case to do. That's too much to do. I'll be up for like 48 hours. I want a case of Propel.
Okay. Love Propel. Right. I've turned you on to Propel, right? Great. You got it. It's really good.
Well, the Cowboys can clinch the NFC East with a win on Sunday night.
They're not clinching anything.
They can.
I know
they can also clinch a first-round bye with home field advantage with some help.
No mercy.
The 8-3-1 Seahawks are on the road Sunday against the 6-6 Packers. The Seahawks will face Aaron Rodgers without safety Earl Thomas, who broke his leg last week and is out for the season. Rodgers has won his last 14 December games at Lambeau. Skip, who wins this game?
You know what? Just let me say that all I've heard sitting in this chair on this show and the old show for the last 7 years is how great Aaron Rodgers is. And again, I said, I don't know. I'm not sure, especially over the last 5 years, that I've been seeing that. And I've said he's overhyped and overglorified. And pretty much this year you have agreed with me on that he can be a blame deflector and a finger pointer in the locker room and think teammates don't love the guy.
He's been all those things as he's won 2 MVPs and a Super Bowl. That hadn't changed, but he's still a great talent. Go ahead.
He's 3-5 since that one Super Bowl run. He's 3-5 in the postseason, including 2 home playoff losses.
What's Tony Romo again?
I don't even care because he's out of sight, out of mind. I wish he'd been traded at the deadline.
You hear that, Tony? That's what one of your staunchest supporters thinks of you now.
He's just an objective observer.
So here's my point. For once, and I'm doing this strictly from a Cowboy perspective, I need Aaron Rodgers to be Aaron bleepin' Rodgers.
That's not how you're supposed to determine a game, Skip.
I'm picking it with my heart, okay? I'm the first to admit I need him to live up. I need him to play a big game in a big game on the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. And I think they're going to at least be snow showers. I don't know how cold it's going to be, but probably around 30, a little snowy. It's Packer weather. It should be A-Rod weather. It should be his time to shine against a defense that lost the player that represents its spirit, its heart, its electricity, and Earl Thomas, the guy the little man who punctured the lung of one Rob Gronkowski. That's who that guy was. And it should be advantage Aaron Rodgers. And I'm just being honest with you, I need for Green Bay to beat Seattle because I've told you from the start, I'm scared of Seattle. They're really good. You love them. I respect them. And I don't want my Cowboys to have to wind up, and there's still 3 hard games to go, so it's a long way home here. I don't want my Cowboys to wind up in Seattle in the NFC Championship game, because that would be a tall order. That's a tough place to play. That's a tougher place to play than Arrowhead is right now.
Even with a Hall of Fame quarterback and running back on your team?
Well, yeah, rookies. It would scare me. It would be tough. I'd give them a shot. They did win up there in the regular season 2 years ago with Tony Romo at quarterback, but maybe they took Seattle a little by surprise that day.
Skip, why do you keep going back to 2014?
Well, I'm just saying they have a few players left on this team who know what it feels like. Well,
2014 was out of sight, out of mind.
But a few players know how it feels to go win at Seattle, but I would not trust it, which is why I need Green Bay to drop Seattle one more notch. And by the way, Green Bay is 6-6. They need this game too, because they still have a chance 2 games back at Detroit to catch Detroit. And they've got Chicago and
they finish up at Detroit.
And they're at Detroit, and they play Minnesota at home. So they got a chance to get on a roll. And I got to give it to Aaron Rodgers. Over the last 3 games, he's been pretty close to Aaron Rodgers. First 3 games were abysmal. I couldn't recognize bleeping Aaron Rodgers. But in this case, he's finally got some rapport, some wavelength reestablished with Jordy Nelson, coming off his complete knee reconstruction. Mm-hmm. And over the last 3 games, Aaron Rodgers has 7 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. So I think he should win this game against that unit that will be missing a guy. What happened when Earl Thomas didn't play at Tampa? They lost the game. Yep. I'm not saying that's exactly why, but I think that was a big reason why. So I'm going to go Aaron Rodgers. I love you, man. I support it. No, I haven't supported you. Yeah,
you don't love it, and you don't support it. Well, but go ahead and make the pick.
I need him just one time to live up. And I'm going to say Green Bay wins this game 27-25, and my Cowboys distance themselves from Seattle.
Why do you do that? Why do you do that? Why you beat the man down, and now all of a sudden you want a favor for him?
It happens.
No, it doesn't. It shouldn't happen.
Hey. A man who bleeds orange is Mr. Rah-Rah driving the bandwagon of the Kansas City Chiefs? Are you kidding? Is that not your arch rival in Denver?
Well, Raiders is number 1, and then Kansas City.
Okay, thank you. Yep.
Seattle's battle tested. Mm-hmm. They've been there. They've done that. And what I've seen, what I saw last week with Thomas Rawls running the football, this is the blueprint for this football team. Asking Russell to throw the football 35, 40, 45 times, that's not how they became successful. When they have some kind of balance of a running game, I'm not saying they need to run the ball for 200 yards every game, but just give them something so the defense just can't pin their ears back and blow past those turnstiles that we call offensive linemen up in Seattle. They are a very dominant team. Their defense will travel. Doesn't matter the weather. It doesn't matter the surface. Sherman, Cam, they get Bennett is back, Wagner, KJ Wright. I love this team defensively. I love their mindset. And when you look at them, they don't have a name from a wide receiver standpoint that says, you know what, I must have this. They don't have a Julio or Antonio Brown or Beckham, but all Doug Baldwin.
They're pretty good.
All they do is go make plays.
Yep, they do.
All of them caught around, 6 balls for about 50 yards last week. And Jimmy Graham is starting to look like the Jimmy Graham that was in New Orleans. And you keep talking about Aaron Rodgers is bad. Aaron Rodgers had like 29 touchdowns and 7 picks. Other than Tom Brady, who wouldn't trade stats with him? And Drew Brees. Other than that, every other quarterback would take those 29 touchdowns, 7 picks.
Well, Dak Prescott wouldn't trade with him. 19-2. Come on.
Can we stop talking about the Cowboys?
Why? You asked.
I didn't ask you about no Cowboys.
Well, you asked
about any other quarterback.
I like Seattle to go on the road, show their moxie, their grit, what they're made of, what they've been made of since Pete Carroll's been there, especially December and January.
Yep.
They're going to go to Lambeau, and they're going to win this ball game 27-24.
So I've got 27-25 the other way around. Interesting. I like my pick because I love Aaron Rodgers.
No, you
don't.
not
the best.
First,
he is the best.
So what about, and I know you're thinking of Russell Wilson. You do know he played in Wisconsin for you.
He did.
And for a guy that's as small as he is, he has fairly large hands. He's able to grip the ball. That won't be an issue.
Well, he said yesterday, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. And
so he's Santa Claus. He coming.
Do you like playing in the snow?
Not really. Ideally, I would have loved to have it 75, 80. I'd rather be hot than cold, but It takes you a while to get acclimated to it because here's a guy from rural South Georgia playing in Savannah, never having to play in the snow, and all of a sudden I go to Denver. It snows. It's easier to play than practice because once the adrenaline, you have hot seats out there. You can go once once your side of the ball's not on the field, you can go sit on the hot seats. But in practice,
You're sitting around too much.
but that's okay. Russell Wilson, them Seahawks, come on down there. Birds fly south. To go south, you got to pass through the Midwest. You got to stop off in Wisconsin, take care of the Packers, head on south.
Hey, I never pick against the great Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, you do. You picked against them when they played the Cowboys.
I don't.
No mercy.
Next up, the NBA tonight on Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City hosts Houston. Russell Westbrook will look for his 7th straight triple-double, and James Harden is second in the NBA with 4 triple-doubles this season. Skip, what do you expect between Harden and Westbrook tonight?
I would like to expect a shootout at the OKC Corral tonight because I will be watching. I don't think I'm going to see that. There's some kryptonite on Oklahoma City for James Harden. And remember, these two teams met in Oklahoma City on November 16th. And James Harden scored all of 13 points in that game on 4 of 16, 1 of 5 from 3 because Andre Robertson did a number on him.
He did.
Andre Robertson does a number on a lot of people. I'm not sure there's a better individual defender than Andre Robertson. Doesn't concentrate much on the offensive end.
Maybe Kawhi.
It's close because this guy's been locking people up and shutting down. Kawhi has become such an offensive threat now that he has to sort of split his mind, offense, defense. And also in that matchup on November 13th, there was no Patrick Beverley on the other team. Patrick Beverley has been a nemesis for one Russell Westbrook. And you remember the playoff game in 2013. I did not think that was a cheap shot, but Russell and many Oklahoma City Thunder fans did think he's trying to call timeout. And
he undercut him.
He didn't undercut him. He just went for the basketball. And I don't have a problem with that, but Russell hurt his knee. God bless.
Russell just hurt his knee.
Well, I don't know. He just twisted. It was freakish. He twisted sideways and hurt his knee.
Who goes for the ball when the man is trying to call a 20-second timeout?
Anybody who's trying to win. It's okay. There's no unwritten rule about that.
Yes, it is, Skip.
Well, he picked up the ball to try to call timeout, and you can steal the ball when somebody's trying to call timeout.
Well,
sorry.
Russell's going to get another triple-double. How about that?
I would. He has a much better shot than James Harden
I expect him to get a triple-double because he got back-to-back triple-doubles in the night of a back-to-back game. Now he has 3 days off.
Yep.
So I expect him to be fresh. And for that very reason you just mentioned, he wants to punish Patrick Beverley.
He does.
Because he's never forgotten what he did to him. Whether you and I agree or disagree, he believed it was dirty. So that's all that matters. It's in his head that he believed that Patrick Beverley did something dirty and underhanded. I believe James Harden will score more than 13 points. I don't believe he'll get a triple-double. He'll be somewhere around 25, 12, and 7.
Yeah.
But you remember last time they played, Russell went in for that left-handed dunk.
He did.
And basically ended the ball game there. So obviously they're going to want to get back. But Patrick Beverley, he's a fighter. He's a scrapper. Now, he's not going to back down from Russell.
I know Patrick Beverley. He is one tough young man. He is not afraid. He's certainly not afraid of Russell Westbrook. He's not afraid of the Thunder fans. He will bring it. And as he says, in fact, I read a quote in the Oklahoman this morning in which he said yesterday as they boarded the plane in Houston, I feed my family and I've made my brand on the defensive end. And he will continue to do that tonight. I don't know if anybody can deal with the force that Russell Westbrook is right now because this is a force of nature.
Well, Russell might not score 30.
No, I don't think he'll get 30.
Right, but I do believe he'll get his triple-double because he'll be fresh. I mean, this might be the freshest he's been since the start of the season with this amount of time off. And we know how he is, the Energizer Bunny. I mean, he playing back-to-back or a game every other day, and he's getting triple-double. So with 3 days off, I expect him to be even better than he's been in the past.
Okay. My problem with the triple-double that I've always told you is I didn't like the idea that Jason Kidd used to get triple-doubles with 11 points. You know, the points should be higher. In fact, to really make it a true triple-double to me.
You got to get at least 20?
Well, I'd say 30.
No,
well, that would be an achievement. But then, if you got to score 30 and get double-digit assists and rebounds, that's impressive. For these guys now, it's not that big a deal to score 20 points.
But Skip, you still have to get rebounds and assists. It's just not scoring.
Oh,
and you're talking about a point guard that has to go rebound the basketball. He's not normally in position. The point guard is not posting up. It's not like like Magic Johnson used to post guys up at 6'9" or Penny Hardaway. Russell Westbrook is really not posting anyone up.
He's averaging 31 points a game.
Yes.
So he's averaging what I'm saying. This would make it even more credible, more official if you started scoring 30 a game to get your triple doubles. Well, his are. They qualify.
Why are you always trying to change the rule? Pretty soon you're going to say for a quarterback to have a good game, he's going to have at least 350 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. Well, for Eli to have a bad game, he needs at least 3 interceptions on Sunday. That's a rule. He needs 3 picks on Sunday night.
When is Dak thrown for 350 and 3 touchdowns?
Well, he doesn't need
so.
that.
Okay, then. I'm telling you, George Taylor.
Westbrook gets his 7th straight triple-doubles tonight, be tied for the 2nd longest streak with Jordan and Oscar Robertson. And Wilt Chamberlain obviously has the all-time record with 9 straight.
No mercy.
Eli Manning is 13-12 in his career against the Cowboys. As you know, they face off Sunday night. In Eli's career, he's won 2 Super Bowls and 2 Super Bowl MVPs and is 7th all-time in touchdown passes. We're joined by Rob Parker. Rob, welcome. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Good morning, everybody.
How are you?
Doing great.
Rob?
I'll just say it for you. No way, no how.
No way, no how.
I'll answer before
Good,
you.
right?
Get him, Detroit.
Already? On
You got to do it with the hand, though, too.
That's why you got to always.
How.
Okay.
It's been debated for years.
And plus, hear me out, Skip. Hear me out.
All right. That's right. Hear me out, at least.
I'm going to really hear you out.
Okay.
Is Eli an elite quarterback?
Absolutely. And I would always take a quarterback like Eli Manning who gets it done in the biggest situations, biggest moments. And you just mentioned he's 2-0 in the Super Bowl. Who did he beat in both of those Super Bowls? People who want to say that Tom Brady's the greatest of all time, but Eli's 2-0 against Tom Brady. And in those Super Bowls, he wasn't along for the ride. Go back and look at those films of those Super Bowls. He threw that big pass to Manningham, right? Yeah. Big play, a great throw down the sideline.
Yes, it was.
It was. And then the David Tyree play, Skip, I know you say it's like a fluke and lucky and it stuck to his helmet.
It's the luckiest play in the history
But
of the
he
Super
also,
Bowl.
Shannon, you know this.
Wait, how did he get out of that tackle?
Well, there you go. He made the play by escaping to keep the play alive.
Closed his eyes and threw it as far as he could.
But he kept the play alive. That's what made the play. That's what quarterbacks do, right?
Yep.
Skip, you got to give him credit for at least creating the play, keeping it alive, and then throwing the ball. And yes, Tyree made an unbelievable catch. But in both of those Super Bowls, he's 2-0, and he won both MVPs. It wasn't like it was the greatest defense ever, and he didn't do anything, and he just happened to be on the team. Eli is the reason the Giants won those 2 Super Bowls, beat Tom Brady twice. You could throw out all the bad regular season stats you want. I don't care about the regular season as much as a guy who gets it done when it matters most.
So wait a second.
Eli is an elite quarterback.
So Michael Strahan's defense had nothing to do with the first Super Bowl?
I didn't say nothing to do with it, but Eli had to make the big plays at the end in order to win those Super Bowls, Skip. He didn't have Adam Vinatieri running out to kick a field goal or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Okay. It was more about Eli making a throw.
Yeah, he had David Tyree. Yeah, way to go.
Go ahead, Skip.
No, you go ahead.
No way, no how.
What? I can't, Shannon, as a man who's won 3 Super Bowls, you're poo-pooing Super Bowls?
No, because I think the biggest misconception is now that anytime a quarterback